Joining us now is author of San Francisco. I think I said that right. Michael Shellenberger. His book looks at the connection between homelessness and crime. Also joining us is David Ambroz, a national poverty and child welfare advocate who was homeless for most of his childhood. Thank you both for being here. Michael, I want to start with you. The number of homeless in America is up 12% from last year, during all of last year. These encampments have become flashpoints. People say people are using them to do drugs, that they're urinating and defecating in open spaces, and it's a health hazard. What do you think?
Well, obviously that's the case. I mean, it's a testament to the complete breakdown of the system that this has even gotten to the Supreme Court to be debated. People blame this on poverty, on housing. The fact of the matter is that poverty has gone down over the 40 years that homelessness has been an issue of national concern. We've built more so-called housing first apartments, but we're not dealing with the underlying cause of what we call homelessness, which is drug addiction and untreated mental illness. Yes, there are some people that are just poor, but for the most part, we're able to take care of those folks, or they're just moving to cheaper apartments. They don't go live on the street in open air drug scenes that we call homeless encampments. Unfortunately, I don't think the Supreme Court can solve this. This has to be solved at the state level. You have to enforce your laws against public camping, public drug use, public defecation, because that's how you can mandate treatment for people that are going to die otherwise. I mean, 112,000 deaths from drugs last year, up from 20,000 in the year 2000. It's a national crisis. It's fundamentally about addiction and untreated mental illness. The governors have to take hold of this issue and get the laws right so that we can get people the care they need, because at this point they're dying and they're ruining the communities around them.
David, I'd like to get your take. You were homeless until you were 12. You and your brother and sister were homeless largely because your mother was mentally ill and didn't want help.
Yeah, born into homelessness, there's no before time, and my family was not drug addicted. My family suffered from poverty, and our colleague here, poverty has gone down. That's news to the 8.4 million children that have been living in poverty for decades. Poverty has not statistically gone down for kids. In fact, with the recent expiration of some of the tax policies, poverty for children has increased dramatically. And the number of 112,000 deaths from drug use is not homeless people. So I think some of the word soup there might have confused people. Homeless people are suffering at an unparalleled rate. And what this policy pretends to do is to recriminalize homelessness as if we had a choice. I was a child. And when I open my memoir, I tell the story of being cleaned up out of Grand Central. And we forced out onto the street with a mother with 3 children. There's not enough shelters. Where would you have us go? And that night is the first night that I thought I almost might die, and I was 4 years old. We must remember these are human beings. These policies have real implications. If we don't want them to sleep there, where do we want them? And it's no longer enough to criminalize these folks. We need to remember they're humans.
David, you do know, because of your work in this, and then I want Michael to weigh in too to respond, but there are many people who are homeless, who are in fact mentally ill, and who are in fact addicted to drugs, and who do in fact refuse to go to shelters and follow the rules there or even get treatment. We see this day in and day out in many of our cities and towns.
This is going to unleash a race to the bottom. Absolutely what you said is true. But for the vast majority, it is not true. This will unleash a bunch of policies across the country that will recriminalize homelessness and test the bounds of what the Supreme Court is going to decide. How cruel can the local jurisdictions be? We're going to find out if the court decides to recriminalize homelessness.
All right, Michael, I want to give you a chance to react and respond.
Sure. Well, obviously, we need to have sufficient shelter beds. And the reason there aren't enough shelter beds is because homeless advocates have diverted funding from shelter beds to single-bedroom studio apartments. When you see New York, which has put its money into shelters rather than into these studio apartments like California, 3 times fewer people die. So you've got to get people off the street, because people are 3 times more likely to die when they're on the street unsheltered than when they're in shelters. So you have to build sufficient shelters. I think we agree on that part of it. In terms of the studies, look, poverty went down, and I can post the data. You don't take my word for it. Just Google the census and the New York Times. It went down during the period when homelessness has increased. And of course, not all the drug deaths are from the homeless, but We're letting people die from drug overdose, from car crashes, from murder, because we're not requiring them to come inside to shelter. So you got to bring everybody inside safe into shelter. And
thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.